hours?
When I came home from school in my old house, my mommy let my dog out to go to the bathroom.
Okay, hang on to that connection. We're sharing a feeling right now. So we've talked about sadness, and we've talked about happiness. Any other feeling that you experienced in this story, or the character experienced?
I was feeling curious because I was wondering, like, what colors it was, because if it was black and white, I would have a connection, because one time my bunny died and he was black and white.
Oh, okay. So, like, you can understand what it's like to have a pet. Does it matter about the colors, though? Do you think that matters, or do you think it matters to know how it feels to have a pet? Yeah, I think it's okay that if the cat wasn't black and white, because you can still understand that, right? Yeah, if you've had a cat that's died, and I've had a cat that's died, then it's kind of like experiencing the same kind of emotion. But we don't have to have, like, 2 black cats that have passed away to understand what that feels like.
I had a yellow and white cat.
Yeah. Parts of this book I was noticing were kind of funny, though, right? When he's having all those memories of Barney. What kinds of things did you hear in the story that kind of made you laugh inside?
When Barney laid on his stomach and it made his stomach warm.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of something special between them, right?
Well, when that girl stuck her tongue out.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that part, the fighting, where the friends are kind of arguing and she sticks her tongue out and then she reaches over and grabs a braid. Think in your mind, have you ever experienced something like that? Where you get in an argument with, like, a best friend or something, or you're with a neighbor, you're playing with a neighbor and you're like, go home, you've had enough. Or a brother and a sister, that happens all the time in my house. Yeah. Well, but then you, like, realize that it's more important to be friends, right? Yeah, okay. All right, I want to put your hands down for a second. I want to talk about the connections that I had here. Because sometimes we have really good connections, and sometimes we have connections that's more like a memory, something we can remember, but it really doesn't have anything to do with the story. So let's look at my connections here. Well, let's think first, what was the author's, like, big meaning of this story? Just don't put your hands up for a second. I want you to just think for a second. What did the author want us to learn in this story? What was his message? Think. Give me a thumbs up when you've got something on your mind. It's not about being right. It's about sharing your thinking. So you can have your own thought. Don't worry about what somebody else is thinking. Got something? What do you think the author wants us to know from this story? What do you think he was trying to tell us? You know, if we're thinking about all the experiences that character went through and all the things that she shared with us. Tell me what you're thinking.
Do you think about when you're at a fun time with
Do you need a second to think about it? Yeah. I want to hear what you have to say.
I was thinking how the cat died.
Okay, what do you think that happened in the story? So we went through this whole process. The author told us about all of these things that happened. But what did the author want to tell us? What was kind of the message we learned from the story? What do you think the girl learned?
That it's sad to have a pet die.
Okay, the whole experience is very sad. What did she learn in the end?
Even though something or someone has died, they're still there.
It is still like being with you. And so how the cat passed away, the cat left her and wasn't with her anymore. But then how is it still there? Like, how did she still feel the cat? Okay, it's staying in her heart.
Because she thinks about the 10 good things about him.
Okay, by remembering and keeping those thoughts in her mind and the feeling of love in her heart. And then he became part of the ground.
If somebody like passes away they're still with you because they're an angel.
Okay. We can think lots of different things about that. So my cat disappeared. Does that help me understand what's happening in the story? If my cat disappears, do you think it helps me to understand? I see some yays and I see some nays. So thumbs up if you think, yeah, it helps understand. And then no if you don't think it helps me understand the story. You're not sure? Kind of does, kind of doesn't. Tell me what you're thinking.
That if since your cat kind of just disappeared, you couldn't know how she felt.
I can feel what the character's feeling, right? Okay, so on our chart here, when we're kind of thinking about a connection, is it just important to me or is it important to understanding the story? And what did we kind of think? You think it's important to understanding, is it just important to me or important to understanding the story? You had a thumbs up or thumbs down. What'd you think? Say it. Important to the text, important to the story. Okay. And you said it helped me to understand how the character felt. Now listen to this connection. My cat didn't like my alarm. Do you think that connection was important to helping me understand the story? Thumbs up if you think it was important to the story. Thumbs down if you don't think it was important to the story. Okay, I'm seeing lots of thumbs down. Tell me why it's not important to the story.
Because that doesn't have anything to do with the cat.
It was like a memory, right? Yeah, it wasn't really a connection that helped me understand anything, right? It was more about my cat than it was this story.
Because it's really not, it's really the connection, it's really like how they felt and you felt.
Right. Right. And so what the character's going through and understanding like the feelings of losing the cat and the memories that she had about him and the message of the author, right. So my alarm clock didn't have anything to do with that. You guys are super smart. So you came up with your own connections, right? While we were reading, I saw lots of this going on. So can I give you a paper and you jot down like one of your own? Do I have enough time? Okay. Okay, so can you quietly, very quietly, tiptoe back to your seat. And I'm going to bring a paper around. Yes.
The one that I was going to write down is already up there. So
Oh my gosh, it's okay. So is that all right to have the same connection as somebody else?
yeah.
Because I had the same connection or same experience as that character. Remember we talked about the word experiences? We have the same experiences. That's what makes connections.